Okay, so game number 2 is gonna be also getting ready for us. With Tropical Mirage, therefore being the next, with Miracleman, this time switching to Hades. He doesn't have to be switching to different gods, you can be playing the same all the way. There are no restrictions in this tournament, but, well, I guess he enjoys maybe playing even something else. Also gonna be kinda showcasing us his kinda like a breadth of gods that he's capable of using. So on the other side, that's gonna be joeybadz with set. And we have corrected the scoreboard, yes, okay. Now we'll see if maybe right now, here, with the set, he's gonna be having a better success. Maybe learning a few things from the last game. I mean, like this time it's gonna be different in a way that Miracleman won't be having ceasefire, so he can't save himself. So theoretically, if joeybadz plays this similarly, he might be having somewhat of a better chance. With tricky part being the extra hit points on the TC, for example, or all kinds of buildings. So it might be a bit funnier for the tornado to work out. But in general, expecting it's gonna be somewhat of a similar gameplay. Wonder if he's gonna be again shifting somewhere forward to block Miracleman from his somewhat comfortable town center somewhere. It's gonna be on the left side maybe, I don't know. Depends. It's kind of like a strange spawn slightly. Because it feels like this is, that they're gonna be almost connected here, pretty close to each other. Not like it's any kind of high difference here between Miracleman and joeybadz. Also in practically the same spot and same oasis. So theoretically shifting here, getting that TC. There's gonna be some food on the left side probably. Should be some giraffes nearby. Or zebras. Depends. What kind of animals are actually gonna be in there? Or is it actually always giraffes? On the oasis, like there's giraffe, Maybe it's gonna be always giraffes. I'm legit not sure until I remember that detail. But okay, gazelinos. That's gonna be the same all the way to the top side. No, so far pretty much the same as there's gonna be also the TC there for here, because there's one there. It'll be kind of interesting positioning if it actually really were here. The extra oasis with the TC. There's a chance obviously for one to the right side. That is not gonna be completely discovered yet. So there are some possibilities and options. Yeah, otherwise, of course, again, reminder, if you are interested, then joeybadz should be streaming on his Twitch as well still. Exactly this nickname, joeybadz. So we can watch there. And he's actually streaming somewhat regularly the past months. So you can expect more streams there to come as well. So give him a follow. Miracleman is also having a stream, but he's not streaming that much. Thinking it's Twitch TV Miracleman. I'm not sure if he's having some underscores or whatnot there. That one I don't remember. But again, he's not streaming as often. But yeah, in the end, the TC is actually gonna be really in this spot. And yeah, it's gonna be always giraffes apparently on the little oases. So this is actually kind of funny because if by joeybadz, not bystander, it was an earlier match. Streamed by Pound Town. If he's gonna be taking this TC, it's gonna be actually even controlling that. No, it might be somewhat of a similar situation as we have seen in game number 1 on the watering hole. So let's see if joeybadz is gonna be really trying to execute pretty much again. Quite nice conversion. Tons of gold. No, TC is evident. 340, even a bit faster. He's doing the same thing, yeah. Oh, and he's gonna be this time going to the bottom. And Galactico, I don't have that on because you then lose the possible chat of the players. So I'm just gonna like showing it when it's somewhat relevant. It's really not that important, frankly, for anything at all in the game. So just like when there's gonna be some kind of room and making sense in what I'm saying, that I'm gonna be showcasing it for you. But again, I don't do it on live games, the live feed, because there could be some kind of chat, and since the recorded games do not even record that, then it will be lost forever. So with recorded games, sure, but here there's not much of a purpose. You don't really even need any kind of information on the resources. It's not really good for anything in the first minutes in any kind of way. because the advances you are getting signified anyway. So it's gonna be becoming a bit more relevant a bit later into the match. So Athena, of course, nothing to surprise him. I'm really thinking that this time actually joeybadz went into the wrong TC. Would have been better to get there. It's gonna be kind of close, of course, but the top one would be basically doing the same thing. Also, will be pretty damn close. No, and barracks seems really seems to be the absolutely same build that he's going for. By the way, this one is the same that you have seen, yes. So you still haven't entirely seen the second relic. It's gonna be still hidden somewhere on the map. So we don't know what potential bonus could be gained and gleaned by the players. I mean, like, this is a bit of a stupid spot, of course, for the food to be in, especially because of the wood line here. So therefore, if you were raided on this spot, it would be kind of hard to run away with the villages immediately. But, yeah, well, it's probably not going to be that much of a big problem. We know that joeybadz is probably going to be running around with a few spearmen, but it shouldn't be that much of a like, real scary army. There's Hendak's going to be coming up from Miracle. For joeybadz, it's going to be, of course, without upgrades. So still the same, and seems like the Dust Devil. So kind of like stun locked here at the edge of the forest for the time being. And there's the second relic. No, Anvil of Hephaestus. Considering what we have seen in the last game, that might be actually having quite a bit of an important role as well here. For whoever's gonna be picking it up, and it's kinda looking a bit more likely that it might be Miracleman, but I'm actually thinking it has been discovered by Joey, because I don't see the Kataskopos anywhere nearby. I can see it's all the way on the other side of the map, so it's very likely that maybe joeybadz is gonna be the one to actually get a discount on his armor, which would be really helpful for him. Considering it's very likely that again Miracleman will be trying to go with the Hades into his Hephaestus as well, since it worked so well in the last game. So obviously not gonna be having the Myrmidons this time around, but again, it's not like the most important unit, so for this matchup, so I'm really thinking he's gonna be absolutely fine going for some classic Hippaspis and archers. It's gonna be somewhat of a decent combination I'm expecting from the Armenian 2k for Jesus, Miracleman. Okay, so pop limit of course gonna be a bit higher for joeybadz. You obviously had the second TC quite a bit earlier, though the difference is rather high at 7. You obviously needed to be making some extra heroes for Miracleman, so he's gonna be logically a bit behind because of that. As for example, Ajax is 9 seconds, that's sure, but nonetheless you do have what is it, 20 seconds for Chiron? 20 or 18, and does he even have him, by the way? Oh, it actually doesn't even have Chiron, right? Or am I just blind? Oh, I'm blind. Yes, there we go. 17 seconds for the Chiron. So here you can see it's a long time. It's basically 2 villages practically if you're gonna be combining both of these guys. So you logically need to be a bit lower than the Egi. And you can see 5 villies. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be somewhat fitting with the difference in which and under which the town centers have been produced and built. Okay, so that's definitely looking like that Miracleman is aiming for a bit faster heroic age this time around. It's gonna be interestingly sneaking forward for another food source here, and unfortunately joeybadz hasn't discovered yet. Yeah, definitely Miracle is going for a bit of a faster heroic than Joey, who is currently going to be investing apparently a bit more into walling. Otherwise, military practically none. Just kind of the Radiant Spearman. Nothing too much more. That's gonna be the Nephthys. And yeah, because didn't even notice the Nephthys was already on the way. So should have been kind of like occurring to me that he's gonna be really, it's the same as the last game practically. So good Migdol and maybe the Mythical Age. Though, doesn't have to be too slow because he's still having a really decent amount of food everywhere. Poor villager here is gonna die. Yep, he will. Oh, that was a nice shot in there. But that's of course how accuracy works in Age of Mythology. No, and the economical upgrades, Hendax and Pickaxe, with Aphrodite on the way, and joeybadz is gonna be at only Hendax. Okay, so pickaxe and shaft mine, some decent upgrades so far. Still. And apparently it's not gonna be that much of a infantryman. Usually Hades is very much likely to be having the infantry because it's well covered by the archers, and Hypaspis really do well against practically anything that you're gonna be having here. But the cavalry is not gonna be terrible either, provided he's gonna be in the heroic age as well soon. Then even something like camels are fairly easy to protect against, as he's gonna be just able to switch quickly into prodromai without any kind of difference to him. I know, few villages killed, yeah, sure. But again, it's not gonna be that much of a major problem here for him, at least presently. But Tornado is already on the way, and again, this time, without the ceasefire, it's gonna be probably really a bit more interesting here. And I do wonder if maybe even Miracleman could be therefore choosing to go instead of Hephaestus into the Earthquake. If he would be casting it about here, he could be probably destroying both of it. Because as we kind of theorized in the first game, can still kind of see a bit of a power beyond that play. Obviously the Hephaestus is gonna be always safer. But you kinda never know. Okay, so front TC. Third TC also from joeybadz is gonna be 8-baht now well protected. And that's also right now one of the problems, because frankly this isn't as much of an issue as it was the front TC taken from Miracleman in the first game. Here Miracleman basically lost nothing, and he's continuing playing as if, well, nothing was going on. So he obviously doesn't have as much of a concern about getting further TC. So that's gonna be a bit more comfortable gameplay for him from that point of view. As you can see, he's gonna be at 190 poppy, missing a house. And, no, well, joeybadz is gonna be at only 102. So obviously, also, since we don't have the ceasefire, and there are gonna be also the ancestors extra, unfortunately, it looks like it maybe joeybadz is gonna be having to cast them already now to even just kind of protect his coming up army. As yep, you can see now immediate the Aphrodite casting is gonna be also not entirely too awesome for the chances and prospects of joeybadz. It's gonna be at 100 poppy, restoration on top of it, and it's not gonna be entirely interesting running away from them. He's having both Ajax and Chiron in play, so he's not really having any kind of problems with that really. So that's all kinds of good powers coming up. Tornado coming forward, of course the TC that maybe could be even housing the advance into the mythical age is gonna be elsewhere. Would have been if he had the resources for that. As currently committed therefore into the castle age army, and that's a bit of a difference from the last game. As yes, you can kinda hide in the pyramid. At least on the map itself, not on the minimap. On the minimap you're still gonna be visible, but here it can be a bit of a funny ambush. I'm not entirely certain if I actually ever seen anybody utilize it that way. It's kind of like hide an arm in there. I think that somebody attempted. I don't have some kind of vague memory of a game like that, but don't think I've actually really seen it like seriously. Wow, that's a lot of rhinos. Of course, some of them that you got for free, advance into mythic, and of course then you're gonna be having plenty from the pharaoh as well. But yeah, definitely there's no point in this attack, because you need something to destroy the TC with. And obviously looking at the wood line, having some catapults there, maybe some short wall, that's going to be quite a bit powerful enough. And if he's gonna be controlling the middle here, somewhat coincidentally he will be really loving probably Migdol instead of the pyramid. Thinking it to be quite a bit useful. But not that, well, something that he's gonna be getting immediately now with pop limit somewhat okay. Yeah, much more importantly, gets even the villages around. I mean, like, that's probably gonna be somewhat forgotten that they were helping with Rhinos. If you would be having Fetters of Fenrir, well, that would be something to help with. But that is not a relic that was in the game. Okay, missing just the flat control, so again the same for Miracleman as it was in the last game, just quite a bit earlier. Already 40 minutes have been such nice upgrades, but you can see that even on the other side joeybadz has really improved. And apparently his gameplay got informed by the last one. Not resting on the economy and sleeping on the economy that much, but he still should be getting possibly the 3rd TC as well, as Miracleman is having tons of rest. Will be there for Mythicin. Oh, and quite a bit soon after, he should be also there for having Forge of Olympus. Looking at the favor and everything, it looks like Hephaestus that he's planning for. And Miracleman will be there for right now. Finishing again, that was the base TC that got destroyed a bit earlier. And Charioteers should be having enough range, of course. Yes, for the gold. Yes, it can be sometimes tricky. Nice wall, but not against those guys. And of course all the way to the top. Good actually preventive walling, and while the army is trying to break through, it still probably should be making it in time, considering no empowerment and only 4 villages. Yeah, that should be the Hippicons there quite well in time, and it seems like that even the Minotaur with the archers are gonna be able to all get in from the other side. Yes, the timing is gonna be quite a bit correct and fine, and of course joeybadz recognizing that he's quite a bit screwed here. No, with so many good powers already gone, literally just left with 1 from Miracle, and he's gonna be this time really going for Artemis. Okay. I was just kinda looking at how much favor he was gathering. Maybe he kinda decided with how the game is going, this is gonna be better. And I'm thinking we're gonna be really seeing the cast somewhere here in the front. Just to kinda like free the full situation in base. He can theoretically cast it even here, considering his presence in the middle. I don't think it actually matters too much where he casts the Earthquake. He just needs to be, of course, consolidating it and coordinating it with his army. So it's not gonna be giving joeybadz that much of a free pass on getting the TC immediately back up. By the way, where's the Pharaoh? Charioteer blocking the path. I don't think we actually have the Pharaoh alive, right? So he's gonna be getting reborn somewhere. Because I was going to say that it would be better to Earthquake the TC that doesn't have the Pharaoh nearby. Because it will be, of course, taking way longer to even put it up in the first place. Copper weapons currently for Joey, fortified TC also for Miracleman. And looking at that, wow, 4,000 wood for joeybadz. Last game he was having a bit of an issue with gold. This time it's gonna be apparently wood. And he's having a bit too much off. Charioteers with double copper. On the other hand, heavy Toxotai are gonna be having just copper shields. No, since there's practically no other army then. Making sense, an Earthquake. Wow, very strangely cast. Like, very strangely cast. He just wanted to be getting rid of the Migdol, apparently. Because otherwise there's like no way he wouldn't be able to cast it also on the TC. It's a bit of a strange decision, I guess. But nonetheless, it seems like right about now the battle is still going pretty well. Fortunately, Fortress is not gonna be getting done in time. No, and you can see Joey against well, again, 100 pop limit and 130 for Miracleman at 4 TCs. Yes, right now controlling the one that joeybadz failed to take, and looks like there's also a bit of a movement by Miracleman in the very middle as the army is getting right now under control. Heavy charioteers, by the way, and well, some kind of random villages on the food here as Pharaoh is nearby. So yeah, he can probably just gonna kill him or kill the villages very easily. But right now these Migdos and whatnot, no, he should be rather actually building with 2 more here on the Empowered. The first one should be building this because obviously she's the strongest on the build points. But the other 2 should be definitely here to be more effective. And overall faster for him. But okay, so villages right now dying, which isn't problem. Problem is going to be that this is like 30 villages that are gonna be idling. Yep, 25, some kind of 10 further. But like 35 villages not doing anything at all. That's half. That is half of joeybadz economy. That's obviously not entirely too great for him. With still tons of wood he can sell. So he can somewhat survive a bit longer. Looking at the population limit, 80 against 160 practically. If we're gonna be even getting some Gastrafedes, maybe as, yep, there we go. As the variant of siege weapons, he really doesn't need the fortress all that much. The Gastrafedes are gonna be more than enough. As we've also seen on the left side, that flat control has been researched for Miracle. Even, for example, Carpenter's ready for Joey. Again, it's not entirely upgrade that he needs, considering his resources. Apparently he has already sold tons of the wood. Apparently he has already done that. No, and this town center is gonna be very soon destroyed completely and utterly. And we have some further ups. We actually do, even for example, Shafts of Plague from Artemis. Bronze shields are right now ready. But nothing further is getting the research, and kind of good attempt at a Migdol, I guess. Wanted to be securing himself some further gold mine, as there, by the way, is going to be possibly even another one to the top, if, for example, also he can be getting rid of the TC. I mean, I could be down no mercenaries there or whatnot, but still, for example, the villages from the top flank could be put in some towers on the gold mine, so some more control is gonna be certainly needed too. I kind of like it really though how he's playing towards kind of like what the god offers. Always using the animals here, joeybadz. That's kind of how we should be of course playing. It's kind of trying to do it somewhat generically, same as every other Egyptian. Just kind of like play towards the strength of your gods and see if maybe that is something that can be helping you overcome the player on the other side of the ale. Now comes, so quite nice wall in to protect of course the catapult, so that maybe the town center can be his soon. Theoretically the same thing can be happening here. That's kind of like a bit of a feature of the map. If you do have some good range siege weapons, it's gonna be fairly easy. Otherwise for the god powers everything is gonna be already gone and done. Iron shields even actually managed to get nice. Double copper, but the iron shields are actually excellent here against the Hades. But 53 villages only, you can see against 80. 30 less, no trade by the way for either of the players, interestingly. Nobody started with that yet. With Joey still having good army, or the army amount of gold for the army. Whereas Miracleman is having a bit of a struggle with that, but that's that is a serious army right now, Gastraphetes. Okay, that's definitely worth their screenshot. Because it's not entirely common you're gonna be seeing such a huge army. Missing the normal attacking upgrades, but at least the one extra here from Artemis is gonna be helpful. That's gonna be 5 town centers right now ready, with one last available for joeybadz. And even if he's gonna be doing what he can with getting himself mercenaries, which is like extra pop limit, extra TC practically, maybe even more than that actually. And if you're gonna be getting all kinds of towers, which is practically also something that can be helping you overcome TC disadvantage, it's gonna be 5 versus 1. That's getting a bit into extreme here. 200 pop. Doesn't seem like that really Miracleman is having any kind of problem. But nice to see on the other hand that joeybadz is still fighting, trying to make it work. You can see right now hoping to maybe even pull down the further TC. Unfortunately, it's not entirely working as well as you would have hoped and planned. Still missing the architects on the hit points. Yep, we have a block on the gold here. And of course it's gonna be also meaning that Miracleman is having things under control as far as the siege weapons and the siege of the town center. Tons of gold. But actually curiously this time, and now he's gonna be missing the wood that he was having 4,000 off a bit earlier. But yeah, the Gastraphetes are just gonna be absolutely nasty at this point. Just gonna destroy buildings and melt them incredibly quickly. Just need to be finding themselves at least a bit covered, because obviously they are still not entirely the greatest against normal units. At that point you want to be having normal Toxotai, because, no, well, again the pop limit difference in there, but nonetheless just the Toxotai are a bit more suitable for the normal gameplay. I'm actually thinking that they are even shooting a bit faster, the Toxotai. That with the Gastraphetes they have a bit more of a reload time that they need to use. Okay. Okay. He actually is maybe on the verge of trying the sneak. Not really in the habit, apparently, joeybadz, of giving up on his dream of maybe advancing forward and further in this tournament. No, but seems like Miracleman is, well, not gonna be letting actually any kind of miracle happen here, it seems to me. 2,000 food here. Maybe a bit more than he necessarily needs at this stage. And could be probably selling, getting himself a few more upgrades. Yeah, that's what he should be doing. But at this point it seems like that he's not entirely all that kind of like concerned with whatever is going on. Just kind of like having some cool army of Gastraphetes and destroying everything in his path. getting Joey into the straight 0 as all the way to the bottom. Also another attempt potentially to like in that Dust Devil in the middle of the villages. Trying his best to secure himself some further gold mine, but it's on the other hand actually good practice for him. Like playing under pressure and still thinking about the importance of the game. So therefore securing further gold, and you never know when it's gonna be coming in handy next time. But well, this game is gonna be a GG'd out already. And after 25 minutes, we are going to be having the victory number 2 for Miracleman, who is gonna be there for getting the full victory and advance into the second round of the qualification for Voobly Champions League 3. Hosted by Boit in the community, for example, ChronoJJ as well, who is in the chat right now. Not sure who else is the admin, I think it may be Grassingru, maybe some others. So thanks to all of them, and of course, thanks to the community for the prize pool for the players. Okay then, so that is going to be there for it for the match. Let's have a look at some post-game. And I'm not aware of any kind of further match that was supposed to be played today. Again, as I mentioned, there are still plenty of matches that are supposed to happen, but I have like no idea when. There is only one that is scheduled for tomorrow, Spammed versus Mahde at 19 GMT, and then also of course ChronoJJ versus Alucard at 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday, so therefore like late Tuesday. Really late Tuesday. But I also like Sensui versus VNC is supposed to be played. Goldline versus Hisao. Odin King versus Julius. Sirtok versus Poseidon Spam. And Revan versus Starko. So there are still decent amount of games that are supposed to happen somewhere. Okay, let's therefore have a look on some ups. At the very end, you can see at least managed to get the iron shields. That was also something that we have seen from Joey a bit earlier. Double copper, and we do have right now the laborers with, can say it now, still the sim upgrades as a bit earlier, and I guess Miracleman is gonna be there for showing. Almost full swing, just missing the golden apples. But the BS right now, Divine Blood, that's the fun one. And well, still kinda until the very last minute and last second, trying to think up what to do maybe with the back build. So he did get at least a few hits in, and seems like that he wasn't entirely aware right now, Miracleman, or like probably didn't care, I guess. So in the post game, that will be, no, I can see the economy is evident, gonna be again tons of res, some, what is it, 6.5 and 4, it's gonna be 10.5. 11.5, 12,000 resources more for Miracleman than joeybadz. This time it wasn't as much as last game, but still. The difference is rather significant. But again, almost the same military count. That was also in the last game. But the units lost, no, well, of course, millions of villages in there. 70 units more. That's gonna be also some portion of ancestors that weren't killed, but just died of old age. So must maybe some mercenaries. That is the difference here between them. You can say now, what is it? 58. No, 58 difference between units killed and units lost. It's actually kind of high. Is it's gonna be probably the set animals counted into that. No, they have to be. It has to be the set animals. That if you delete them, they're gonna be counted into that as well. Because otherwise the numbers do not make any kind of sense. From Anses, you are having some 16 of them, or I don't know, something like that. And some died, so you'll be having maybe like 10. And we have to be there, therefore having 40 from the rest. No. Well, apparently it does work that way. Yes, therefore killed quite a few for the food sources. But again, joeybadz is the one with the topic on RTS Sanctuary. 83, or the 38, sorry. 38 rhinoceros offset. Gonna be giving you the link for that. Yeah, joeybadz, no problem. Thank you for streaming. He's also streaming on his POV. joeybadz. Where do I have right now all the streamos? There we go. There he is. Gonna be probably right about now. Also analyzing his games. I'm probably gonna be there for raiding him so that he gets the viewers. All of you. There's also Jay and Warrior still streaming. But I wanted the topic from RTS Sanctuary. Yes. So right now the topic where you can learn a bit more about his proposals in there that you can potentially test for yourself. Okay, so therefore, good luck in further round to Miracleman from 2K4Jesus. And of course, good luck to joeybadz in further games as well. And fun to see him in another tournament. So looking forward to further efforts from him. GG. Okay, let's also right now showcase there for the game room for a bit. So that it's going to be recorded just in case. So again, no problem, joeybadz. Thanks for being able to stream you in the first place. No, and therefore, again, just some kind of reminder, if there are a bit more people currently here, what kind of further matches you can be expecting. Again, tomorrow, 19 GMT, Spammed versus Mahre should be played. ChronoJJ versus Alucard will be at 2:30 GMT in the morning on Wednesday. And then there are still a decent amount of games that are supposed to even happen. This one wasn't played yesterday, so I'm not sure if it was wrong day or what. But yeah. But all the others that are having the number next to them have been played. Again, if there's somebody new here, we were doing on the stream here on our Twitch. The first one was Massi. Where do we have him? Marcos versus Massi. That was the first one that we did. Then we did Temista versus Warrior. And right now, of course, also Miracleman versus joeybadz. Earlier in the day, there was also a match between not Marcos, Symptom and Duck Nugget, which was streamed by Ghost Rider. Not sure if he's having it on his Twitch, but kind of hoping so, possibly. That's gonna be Ghost Rider, and then also Mr. Poundtown was doing quite a few games today. He was doing live match of Lordy versus Bystander. He was doing live, and then he was also doing live Mr. Boat versus King Dragon. And he was also doing tons of recorded games. He was doing recorded games of some matches that we did earlier. And Super Raffin versus Anti-Raider and Garmajuda and Pelos also. He was doing those. He was also streaming those. He was, I think, also later doing the matches as he was potentially waiting for this match, but it was way too late. He did Marcos versus Massi as well records off, and then he was also doing the one that was played earlier. I don't think it was even stream. Visi versus No Atlantis. He was doing recorded games off. Not sure he was doing something more. Possibly, but it's gonna be on his channel if he's gonna be putting the stream on display, because he's having it kind of by default hidden. And it was pretty good play, joeybadz. Not really anything to be ashamed of at all. Definitely not. I mean, like, Miracleman is a great player, so that's a good result, frankly. Good play by you. Now, in some further games, currently there's Schemo streaming. There's gonna be still Warrior streaming as well that we have hosted a bit earlier. So you can therefore switch into some of those. joeybadz is still seem to be online, so we're gonna be giving him the raid. And in the end, of course, as always, thank you very much therefore for visiting, and visit RTS Sanctuary and Age of Mythology Heaven for anything AOM, from discussions, guides, learning of tournaments, recorded games, history of the game, because both are old webs for AOM, but also still active. Age of Mythology Heaven is the home for the mods and modding community, so if you want to become a modder, it's a great place to visit for coming up and getting some tools and guides and active modders to help you out, becoming maybe the next Rebels Rising, or I don't know, Warrior Mario, for example, ChronoJJ, and all kinds of others, possibly, or Weppy, or actually joeybadz was making some new scenario based on the King of the Hill earlier today, so we'll see what he's gonna be preparing for us. Looking forward to that. There are plenty more also currently lately in the Voobly Mods Center, published especially by WebPAK Straxis. Let me right now find some link for that. And there are also still the events going on. The first one with the custom scenario ladder, where you're just gonna need to be playing 10 games in a month, and you are going to be getting a Voobly Premium if you are interested. So you just need to be on the ladder playing those scenarios that are listed here, and you can therefore ask for that. And at the end of the year, when it's gonna be ending, of course the best player on the ladder is gonna be getting some bonuses. And there's of course right now also the event 6, which is every Friday at 20 GMT. That is focusing on Sudden Mythodia, well, the Mythodia Sudden Death edition that we've also streamed in the Webpiece free-for-all party about 2 weeks ago. So if you are interested in that, we stream plenty of the new custom scenarios here on the channel, and for Mythodia Sudden Death here. And you can find plenty others on the Voobly Mod Center there, if you're gonna be navigating the web. So pretty kinda cool map, like 4 or 5 minutes of gameplay usually, for 4 people max. So kinda fun for you maybe to play with and do something about. Same as there's, for example, European Wars Cheese, inspired by AoE2, by NK Kid, Ceiling Bet, and Straxis. You already know streaming. Okay, so no, well, nonetheless, then you're gonna be highlighting you anyway, as you are streaming somewhat regularly lately. So yeah, something of an interest here for you who are interested in some more games on the evenings. No, this is right now just kind of taken from AoE2, whereas AoE2 has, for example, lately taken from us Tiny. I recognized or realized there's some kind of potential to be playing on very tiny maps. Okay, so therefore, feel free to... Okay, so if Joey is gonna be right now therefore coming back, I can therefore give in the raid here. And well, you can join us on Voobly. If you are also interested, then extended edition on Voobly is definitely possible. There is a compatibility patch by Chris and Straxis. So if you don't have the original game and you don't want to be downloading it anywhere, this should be working well for you. Just download, install, and can play both on Steam and Voobly. If you have some issues, feel free to message me or the other Voobly mods, and maybe post on the support forums if you wish. As of course there is active moderation going on Voobly. And well, you can also play here the balance patch version, that is the most common of course, but you can play also the original Ensemble Studios 103 patch, the very much original game. And you can play here vanilla without Titans, expert patch on vanilla that is used for tournaments and show matches, rated vanilla, deathmatch, lightning. I've actually seen lightning room like yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I have seen a lightning room hosted, not sure who it was. And you can commonly gonna be seeing some games against Titans AI, against bots, currently not, but it's fairly common. And of course all kinds of custom scenarios, with Zelda being definitely the most common. And lately you're gonna be seeing plenty of others due to activities from the events by Voobly and Straxis especially. So you're gonna be seeing something like Tiny, Elkers is right now online, maybe looking for some players in some time. He's also streaming commonly L_CURS without the last underscore on Twitch. Then he has also created a guide for Tiny on Voobly forums you can find there. Also maybe from his account, not sure if he's having it posted on his. But on Voobly forums with in HO Mythology department. No, and you can also see here sometimes something like Settlers, but more commonly Foodwood Gold, Bloodsport, then CBA, aka Castleblood. Not much Norse Wars. No, Dwarven Football, unfortunately, but also commonly something like Choose Your Mutation, Mythodea, Dark Mythodea, or Gladiators, and Tower Defense, RPG. I don't know, Forest Escape, Final Fantasy custom scenario is also in the like automatic download that you get when you have basically an automatic download of the most common custom scenarios when you reach the game, when you reach the lobby. So you're gonna be having them also with you automatically. And there's also something like, as I mentioned, Forest Escape, and what isn't there, but maybe some of the old schoolers could remember, Cat and Mouse, for example. And I'm thinking that might be what I probably remember here. Yeah, probably so. No, and well, some of them are receiving still some updates, and there are some new ones, as I mentioned. For example, RPG and Choose Your Mutation have been updated last year. So there's still work on the new ones. So we'll see if maybe joeybadz is gonna be bringing something new. So that's gonna be that for it. Thank you for stopping by on the chat. Who did here on the last session today? Maybe last. If there's gonna be something more, maybe he's still gonna be coming up with a stream, who knows. But yeah, well, we'll see. We are always streaming HO Mythology on Wednesday, community games, and in between Monday and Thursday we are having some classic sessions. You can find in the past broadcast and below the stream what we do here. But we are mostly HO Mythology, Age of Empires 2 channel. But we also do some other games, usually old schooler ones, but even something newer ones like Diablo 4 we are streaming lately. And looking forward to playing Baldur's Gate 3. But that's gonna be quite a time sink. I'll be liking to finish Diablo first, but that's gonna be for like half a year. And I would be so much liking to play Baldur's Gate 3 already. Oh well, we'll see. We will see indeed. And then from the older ones like Settlers, Transport Tycoon Deluxe, I don't know, Daggerfall, Dune 2. Gonna be having to stream that as the movie is gonna be coming up again. We do have the Ordos campaign to still finish. Want to be playing Dungeon Keeper, Blood and Magic. I don't know what else. Heroes of Might and Magic we stream here. And sometimes even some Amiga games like Alien Breed or Lotus we streamed. And I would be liking to do a lot more, like for example Goblins or some others that I used to play when I was a kid. And even later. But yeah, that's gonna be that for it for tonight. Thank you joeybadz and Miracleman for the games. Same as of course Temista earlier with Warrior, and also the first match Matze with Marcos, and all the others of course that we streamed previously. Straxis rather, Punkstar, Slipknot, Karma Judah, Pelososo, Super FM, Anti-Raider. We'll see who we are gonna be getting to stream still. No, and thank you who stopped by on the chat. joeybadz, Uros128, ChronoJJ, good luck in the tournament by the way. Katidanks, James39, thank you for the follow earlier today. Galactico Gaming, Nimonom, and of course everybody else as well. For example, Got Me in the previous session, Stephen 9977, Imenanigi, Gabo, Antos, Julian Srami 99, Mahde, Offspring Yau, Sarasen, Wesley Giuseppe, Koicha, Suns 2A, and in the first session, Einvirtel, Zefferson, I go Heimdall, and you are finished, that should be Bystander if I'm not mistaken, AOT Bystander. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I've been Blackadder at Blackadder's Place. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later.